Well, the funniest thing I've ever seen today just got shown on my screen over there. Alex has just shown me like a shit Last Supper from someone, which is Joe, and Alex at the end of the game. All right.
Yeah, it's a bit shit, that, wasn't it?
Welcome to Stretford Paddock. Therapy for sad people. Can we cut to out? Can we go on the double? There we go. I'm not here on my own. I'm not talking to my spiritual leader, Alex Ferguson.
No,
I'm talking to him. I hate football.
It's not good, is it?
Wings were good.
Wings were good, football's not. We'll get to some of your comments.
Cajun, dry rub.
Loads of them about it. There's a lot of Ole outs already. There's a lot of all that kind of stuff.
Look, if that's what you feel, sound, but contribute to the conversation.
Yeah.
Rather than just putting that in, because we know that there's a lot of you going to feel like that, and that's fine. You're more than welcome to feel like that. Patterson wants to go out.
Yeah, you can fuck right off.
There's
a comment there. Can't defend him today, Howson. We'll start with that. I think that Gary Neville's been on Sky then. I've not seen it. I've not seen too much of it. I've seen the breakdown of kind of what has been said, and he's blamed tactics and the setup and the players and all these different things. But I think people are expecting him to say he should go, and I think that they're expecting it from us as well. I think my thought of it is that you can probably think, and I think we all do now is the time for maybe him to go. This might be the end of it all. I don't think it recovers from here. I don't think it gets any better. But that doesn't mean that I think we should be screaming for him to go and that kind of stuff. I think he deserves more than that.
No, I don't think I'm never gonna demand anybody loses their job.
No.
I'm not going to do that.
And I think that's the whole point of it all. There's no demanding of it.
I think I've lost faith, though.
Yeah.
I did a review myself, so I am going to repeat a little bit of stuff that I said over on there. And one of the things I was saying on there is, as a single fundamental point, to take you back in time to the League Cup semi-final 2 years ago, United struggled to play out, so it went 4-4-2 against us. We could not play out. There's been no progression on that front. There has been progression on other fronts. Some people put some things at Ole's blame and other things at Ole's blame that. And some things are right and some things aren't. But this is his.
Yep.
Because the personnel have changed, by and large, but the ability to play out through... honestly, it was a fucking C. It wasn't an A, it wasn't a B, it wasn't a triple A press. It was a pretty fucking run-of-the-mill press that Liverpool hit us with today. It wasn't like, oh my God, how many inhalers did they bring today? It was literally just a regular old bit of pressure, and we crumbled. There was at one point Fred gave it away inside our box from us playing out, and you just think there are no circumstances under which you can defend that.
And you can't defend the option two as well. I mean, you were there on Wednesday, and for the first half, for about half an hour, De Gea gets the ball and pings diagonal balls to Marcus Rashford. And I just kind of look at it and go, I've won more headers than Marcus Rashford. I can't hit the ball. Like, you just kind of watch it and go, if we can't play out, there's got to be another option. There's got to be something where you put it into the challenge. I think you talked on there saying, I think Wan-Bissaka did it in the second half against Atalanta. Just lumped it over the top, and Ronaldo chased it down. We won a corner off it. You kind of go, it's not pretty, but at least there's a thought behind it. We've got quick players that are direct, putting over the top.
Alisson at one point did a shit pot ball which kind of just ran through to De Gea, and you're like, right, build, and we just give it straight back to Alisson. I was like, we're just saying, oh, sorry mate, you fucked that one up. Just have another go. Like,
I go through. We've got a couple of super chats. Albert said, lads, big thanks for being here. Now it would be awful to go through this shit alone. Yeah.
Is that what we've become?
That's what we've become.
Group therapy for sad Manx.
Yep. Damien said, I've never been so angry and embarrassed in my life.
I'm not angry.
I'm not angry.
I'm really sad.
Is a joke. Men against
boys. I reckon I'm getting a boner for a week. That's how sad I am.
It's miserable. And it's miserable saying that it's come to this, it got to this stage, and that we can't do it with this group of players. And you mentioned on your review Ronaldo coming in maybe not being the right thing. For me, it's...
But do you know what, mate? Ronaldo coming in might have upset the apple cart in terms of, do you know what? We thought we were going to do X, Y, and Z with Cavani. Ronaldo coming in doesn't teach you to defend like a fucking cucumber, though, does it?
No. And that's the thing, is that there's so many things we've talked about today about the press and all this kind of stuff. And you kind of go, do you know what? You're right. We didn't press very well and all this. No reason to be walked through.
Bruno Fernandes' positioning as a midfielder when you're trying to play out annoys me, But that doesn't mean that you get beat at front post by Salah if you're Maguire because his position. Like, some things are like valid and you go, I don't really like that, I don't really like that. But none of the things that I'm not really feeling at the moment, which is, do you know what? I thought if we'd have had Pogba, we could probably hit them on the counter a little bit better than we did, right? That's not going to prevent us conceding the shit goals we conceded and be carved up. And the positional, I mean, honestly, Luke Shaw's positioning today was like a paper bag on bonfire night.
I thought ahead of today, Luke Shaw does some good games against Mo Salah, and sometimes when he just has to defend, he does really well. Today he was back to his normal, wandering himself out of position, wandering inside. Fred not helping him out, Bruno not helping him out, Rashford not helping him out.
You've played fullback, right?
Yep.
For me, actually. What is the number one job of a fullback?
Don't fucking let that winger score.
All right, what's the number two job of a fullback?
Just
sounds like mop the Ross.
Yeah.
Stop the cross.
Yeah, of course it is. You don't, and it's do one of the other. It's either be in position to do it or make the tackle. You've either got to be in, slow the man down and do it. You don't give Mo Salah that much time. I said as well, Mo Salah was tipped before this to being one of the best players in the world, and he's danced through play.
Scored a fucking hat-trick in front of the Stretford end.
He's done a hat-trick of tap-ins almost. He has just walked through teams. He's not had to do anything.
Let me have a quick look at
Jeremy's done Super Chat as well. Right now, where is it gone? I've lost that one. There you go. Right now, all I can think is how are we going to start all over again with another manager and who's going to be? I don't want Ole to be sacked, to be honest. I think it's more people's worry about what's next rather than...
you guys touched on that, and I think that's a valid thing to talk about. He might go. When you look at Spurs, Atalanta, City, fuck me, that's a rough run if everything's going well.
Here's the other thing that we've got. It's the first time we've got a week off in a long time. Not a week off, but we've got 7 days.
Midweek off.
So if you're going to bring someone in or you've got to make a decision this week or you've got to get some training done.
I'm fucked off because we had the best fucking podcast guest you could ever fucking hope to ever have coming in this week, and I guess that's not going to happen after this.
Let's
have a look at where these goals came from.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all inside the box. Well, I knew that anyway. They're right on the edge of the 6-yard box, and a couple just behind the penalty spot. Absolute fucking
Vikram has said Liverpool don't play with a recognised DM today and still easily passed it out from the back. McFred tasked with covering way too much ground on their own.
Well, we didn't press.
We didn't press.
And that did allow them to play out from the back easier. But what they also do is they're comfortable with the DM, whether it's Henderson or whoever, they're comfortable with that guy going towards the ball, even for a bounce pass, even just for something as simple as that. You're not even asking him to start turning and fucking pinging it over his shoulder 40 yards. You're just asking him to recycle possession in those positions. And United, I mentioned this on mine as well, I'll mention it again. Maram did some brilliant analysis the other day of the United's playing out. Missed the whole fact that there's just a big fucking gaping hole in where I think the first to the 6 passes, the number 6 needs to be getting on the ball in those and dictating play. Your number 6, by and large, Michael Carrick used to have 115, 120 passes a game. What's Fred doing? 40. Yeah. That alone, and a 32 of them to fucking McTominay as well. That alone tells you where the major issue is. But Fred not being able to pass a piss doesn't mean that you defend like a fucking spanner at the front post.
Nope.
And that's how you conceded today, and that was how you conceded against Atalanta, and that was how you conceded against Leicester. So this is 100% on the management, because if one player's having a bad day, you go, do you know what, you're having a bad day. Guess what? You have 2 bad days, you come and fucking sit next to me for a little bit until you figure out why you're not going to have a bad day again.
Yeah.
If you just continue to play, right, you can have a forward that misses, and everyone goes, oh, but you can play a centre forward through shit form. Robin Van Persie's done it, Wayne Rooney has done it, Radamel Falcao didn't really get a chance to do it, but like you can play a centre forward, because what's the worst that happens? You don't score that goal. When it's a centre half or a goalkeeper that's in shite form, which our defence is at the moment, they cost you games.
Yep.
That entire defence today was as useful as a fucking bright orange cone.
Useless. Literally, there was absolutely nothing there today. I've got another super chat. I've missed it, so I'll have to find it. Just saying no super chats. Definitely one here. Spiky Mikey Maguire had an absolute shocker today. And why was Ole putting Sancho on the bench? I don't think Jadon Sancho being in this team makes us not lose 5-0. Again, this is the whole point, is that people have brought things up about Donny van der Beek and Jadon Sancho and all these things, and even about who starts in midfield. Does Paul Pogba start today over one of those two? Does Paul Pogba start on the right-hand side where he came on and rightly got sent off after that stupid tackle.
I still haven't seen it, actually.
It's just a bad tackle. And the worst, again, the probably worst part of it is it's from him not switching on from a corner, from him not being ready to receive the ball, and diving in on the edge of their box. It wasn't like it needed to be made.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not making yourself a Stretford End hero because you saved something here.
No.
And even at, was it 5-0 at the time?
Yeah. What are you doing? I mean, and Juan said Pogba needs to go. It doesn't work for the team. Look, I just think that, look, he come on in that game to be told to just calm it down a bit, keep the ball. You know, Mason's maybe not working back as much. We need someone else to help that out. That go and do that.
I said this to the lads around us at half time in Stretford End and said, if you read Fergie's book, which I do weekly or something, right? Do you remember when we were Mint?
Yeah, yeah.
That's how I remember.
Yeah, yeah.
He talks about that 6-1 against City being like the lowest point for obvious reasons. And he said there was a bit of naivety in him. I mean, he was at the end of it. He was 2 years out from retiring. What was it, a 37-year managerial career?
Yeah.
And he was still being naive. But that was his nature, wasn't it? He was a gambler. You listen to players who played under him, they were like, like Quiros worked for him because he was always a little bit more like chill. Rennie Mullenstein was a little bit like pouring petrol on a bonfire, was like, yeah, fuck it, let's have him. And sometimes that resulted in some amazing shit. And we probably won a league title on the back of that in 2013 at least. But when Manchester City, who got sent off? Is it Fletcher?
Johnny
Evans. Yeah, Evans, yeah. And Fletcher scored. When did Evans get sent off? Was it 2-1 or 3-1?
I think it was 2-1. I think, and then they scored directly after, or pretty close to that.
So Fergie goes, fuck it, twist.
Yep.
Let's go. You don't stick
and
try and consolidate. Let's twist. Let's have it. Let's try and get back in the game. Glorious victory. EU dares Rodders and all that shit.
Yeah.
And we got beat 6-1. You know they only had 7 shots on target in that game?
Yeah.
We had 6, but no one's willing to have that conversation. And to be honest, I'm not willing to have that conversation.
It wasn't a good performance.
It was a fucking slapping. And it was the correct result. It wasn't a bad result. It was the correct result. But Fergie says he would have consolidated at 3-1 if he could do it again. That's what he said after the fact. And I thought, I wonder, you're 4-0 down at half time. We all want to go, yeah, we'll just get back in the game. Sometimes it ain't your day.
Yeah.
And 4-0's bad. But Joe, what's really, really, really bad is like 6 or 7-0.
Some quotes from Solskjaer. It's worse feeling. The feeling we were getting, we want to be, has been there. Last few weeks, we have hit a brick wall. We have conceded too many easy goals. That's a concern. Yeah, I think anything Ollie says today is not, unless he comes out and says, "Yeah, I'm off, lads," is probably not worth saying.
There was a couple of people as I was leaving the ground was like, "Do you think he'll walk?" And I'd never considered it until today.
I don't think so, because I think that in his head still, and I think that
he's in his dream job for starters.
He's in his dream job to start with.
So anyone going, do you know what? Yeah, I'll just leave my dream job, regardless of how rough it is.
No, and I think as well, that what he has done, people won't want to admit this, is made the difficult decisions when they need to be made, and sort of been. He knew he had to get worse before he got better, and he did that. He got rid of the likes of Lukaku and Fellaini. You could just have Lukaku and Fellaini start spamming crosses in and figure out a way of winning football matches better, or go dead defensive or whatever. You could have done that earlier. He didn't. He got rid of that. He played the likes of Andres Pereira, that was a bit more of a horrible thing. But he did it because he thought he's a player that can do things and can score goals and try. It didn't work out, but he tried things. He knew that was going to be the case until he could get the players in. He signed certain players at certain times. He didn't go all in and do what some managers
Where's
have done.
Joe, by the way?
Joe's still on the phone, I think. He did all those things. And I don't think, again, if he knows now, if he walks away, it doesn't necessarily does it. May as well.
Come on, you big fucking idiot. Talk to us. You're not getting away with this.
No.
Yes, Jordan, I'm talking to you.
Jordan's going to come in and have a chat. Yeah, big idiot.
We need a mic. Where's his mic?
There's one under there. Should be anyway.
You got a big idiot. You got a big idiot. Go round the back.
Big idiot, Matt. Go that way. We'll keep talking.
I'll go through big idiot Mike
whilst we got big idiot Mike coming in. Ready Freddy said the worst part of that result is it isn't surprising. I said I think it was one of those. It could go either way with it today.
Well, everyone, you got to the ground. Everyone's like, "Hey, do you think we'll win?" No. Yeah, me either.
Liverpool couldn't score versus 10 men. How shit are they? Funny. That's right. Beckham had Danny's put. Beckham had talent, but also work ethic, and that made him world class. The talented team relies mostly on their talent without the effort, which
should never be outworked.
Should never be outworked, which is what, again, Gary
wide.
Neville has, come out today and said...
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Jordan. Gary Neville's come out today and said that, you should never be outrun the United team.
No.
And it's what's even stranger about Man United at the minute is that's what Ole did when he come in. It's the first thing. You can look back at that caretaker
It was
time.
the third thing he said. He got him on the training ground, and
said,
I heard this
"These
from
lot
one of the
aren't fit."
players, and they said, "I'm going to make you the was it quickest, most aggressive?" I think he said.
Yeah.
And I went, "Oh, I like that."
Yeah, and for probably 2 or 3 years, that's worked. Up until this year, there's been times when we've sat back and stuff, but we've been pretty aggressive for most of the time and pressed and done the right things and hit teams on the counter-attack. That seems to have gone. Go on, Joe. Fun, innit?
What else can we add to that performance? I mean, tough watching from the first 4 minutes when he scored, and then the floodgates opened. It's very similar to the first half of the Atalanta game where the goals we conceded were piss easy to defend against.
Yeah.
And it's same again today.
We've
Look
not
at-
been
look at
ripped
the-
to
look at the-
pieces, have we?
Look at the first goal. I know we're talking about pressing, right? There's this big sort of conversation about how, because Ronaldo isn't pressing, United aren't pressing, all right? So something's got into that team's head where we conceded the first goal because Mason Greenwood made a silly decision to press Robertson, which then brought Aaron Wan-Bissaka out, which brought the two centre-halves down across the pitch, which then all of a sudden left 2 passes to get Mo Salah and Naby Keita on a 1v1 with Luke Shaw. He can't do anything there. And I know how you feel about Luke Shaw, but he can't do anything in that position.
no.
And it's just
on Luke
basic.
Shaw, I thought last year was season before. I thought he came, or even last season. I thought the first 6 months of the season or so, I think people were really overstating his performances. Second half of the season, I thought he was very good, and I said he was very good. This year, he's reverted back to how he started the previous season, which I don't think is as worthy as the praise as it was. And he's not been effective. I mean, he got a great cross in for Ronaldo on Wednesday, but he's not been effective at either end. Luke Shaw's at his best going forward when he's hitting that byline, when he's making underlapping and overlapping runs, and he's dragging defenders away because he's quite effective in the final third. Yeah. So when he bombs past whoever it is on the left wing, whether it's Pogba, whether it's Rashford, whether it's Ronaldo doing a shift out there on that side, you can't ignore him and go, dummy runner, don't worry about it. You have to go, I'm going to have to fucking get after him, aren't I? Because if it goes to him, he's got a delivery on him and he'll do something, but he ain't getting into that zone for me at the moment. He's kind of pulling up short at the edge of the box. That could be orders, so he's more of a position to get back. Or it might be that he don't back himself, or it could be a number of different things. I don't know how we go from having such a great defence last season in the same formation. And again, this is the important thing. Is the press different? Yeah, it is, right? But it's still this. You're still defending your front post against attackers. That's not be like, well, I'm going to let this in because you didn't press 4 minutes ago. Like, that's not how it fucking works. If it's bad defending, it's bad defending. Defending's defending. That's not changed because something happened on the other side of the pitch.
Because your number 9's not running as much as you want, even though
you still, whether you press or not, the attacks still come the same ways generally. You're still supposed to have the fundamental basics of defending. You stop the cross. If the cross comes in, you've got to get ball side of the defender. You've got to get of the attacker. You've got to get to the ball first. I mean, I was watching the last bit of West Ham and Tottenham. See Harry Kane just absolutely tossing it off for Antonio to just reach past him and poke a goal to it. You're like, Harry, one, why are you marking one of their most dangerous threats? Why was Luke Shaw marking Virgil van Dijk at corners, by the way? That's hilarious. But why is Harry Kane marking Antonio? And why is he allowing Antonio to get his toe across him to finish?
Did you see it as well? How relaxed was he on the corner?
Yeah.
He looked like he just weren't bothered.
It looked like he was waiting for a fucking Pelican cross interchange. Yeah. Like, if Antonio can get his toe to it, you've got to get your fucking toe to it. Is that a Euros hangover? Well, fuck me. Like, more than you lot went to the fucking Euros.
Well, it shouldn't be, because it's, like you said, it's basic defending.
Got a few super chats. We'll go through them.
Basics.
Abhinav has said all his faith in same players cost him. I don't think that's the case. I think the players... Look, I think he's got that. I think he's got most things right. I think he's tried to go back to what it was.
Harry Maguire's an £80 million defender.
You ain't dropping him.
Right? One, that politically
And he
means
should be
that it's a rough decision. But he is a better defender than he's showing.
Yeah,
so what the fuck is going on? Did
said
he
you
need to
don't-
get a sports psychologist in and tickle the fucking ball bags for him or something? Like,
I said you don't have what Maguire and Shaw were like, not just for United, but for England in the summer, where they were very good. Maybe the few different players around them, with the likes of Rice and Phillips ahead of them that may be doing a bit more work, you don't know. But you don't go from that to what we're seeing at the minute and not have something else. Matthew's been, who's a member, just got back to my car from the game. I've been Ollie in this whole time, but it feels like we can't come back anymore. It's done now. Chris put Super and just want to say, if it's the end, thank you, Ollie. I think that'll probably, I think the logical people at the end of all this will have, will look at it and say this was a very, very, he's done a very good job up until a certain point. Burn side is back, spanking another $5 USD because Shaw Maguire, with that shocking, it's needed addressing all year. And he's got another one. I can't actually see it. It's being a bit shit.
The midfield's the most important thing, right? And I think we all know that the midfield ain't quite ready.
No.
I mean, it's not even quite. It ain't ready. It ain't good enough.
And then
behind that, your defence. That attack will always score goals, right? But your defence, well, I mean, not today, obviously. But like that defence is fucking woeful. From the Leicester game to the Atalanta game to today, someone needs to just fucking sit them down and go, lads,
the Everton game.
These fucking goals are, like, honestly, like, guess what? Ted and Mengi, bring your fucking boots, mate. Because you're going to defend better than that. What they're making is schoolboy errors. Let's see if a fucking schoolboy makes them. Ted, you're in. Let's fucking go. Do you know what? It might not even be the worst fucking idea in the world to get Phil Jones in. He must have done some right DVD marathons while he's been off doing fuck all.
Exactly.
Like,
something needs to change. The
Dear
other
Diary.
Burnside is back. He's
I
also
watched all episodes of Big Brother from start to finish.
Spanging another 5 say Keno.
Thought Series 1 was the best.
I don't want to return
Same
back to the
group
team
of
now.
players completely rolled over, threw manager under the bus. I don't feel that's
All
the
right,
case.
Roy Keane.
But I do think there was something that I think they're more lost than they are throwing him under the bus than anything. Vikram's put one in. Looking at something that speaks to the coaching more broadly, I find it weird and annoying how we chased Sancho for years, yet we have no idea how to utilise him at all. For me, I mean, I don't know whether you guys agree with it. He's not looked fit. The first few games I've seen him, maybe needs a bit of time.
He's also never played in the
I
Premier
have this conversation about Sancho with literally all my mates, and I've said it so many times now. I'm sick to death of all the slander on him because, for one, we've been calling out for a right winger since Valencia moved to right back. Yes or no, right? We're calling for Sancho for 2 years, right?
2014.
We get him. We've got him, and everyone's throwing him under the bus because he had a slow start. Right, you can compare his start to Borussia Dortmund.
You've started this season. From that first game, you start against Leeds. You've got Bruno scores a hat-trick. He's staying in the team for a long time. Paul Pogba was flying at the start of the season.
And also, Mason
he had to start
scoring.
Mason scored 4 goals in his first 6 games or something. And then you signed Cristiano Ronaldo. You have to start all them players at one point. Now, I think he kindly bit the bullet with Pogba and said, look, you're going to be the one that has to sit out. I felt that Mason might have been the one that was the next one to come out today. I said maybe Lingard comes in, Pogba comes in a bit further forward, whatever it is. But you can't say that. And also, we've not had someone on our left-hand side in Marcus Rashford. So when he's playing the left, that's because we've been short. We've not had our number one guy.
He's not playing in his position.
No.
Right? His most natural position is the right-hand side. And I can't believe we're even having this conversation now because he had fuck all to do with the game. But at the end of the day, Jadon Sancho was 21 years of age. He's coming for the
So he said he could have done better today.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Marsh put a few more
Basically,
super
did
chats.
fuck all today.
Yeah, nothing.
There's red lines.
Rubbish.
Sancho-
Waste the money.
Martian,
today.
if Ollie does stay after this, does he need better coaching staff around him since he delegates duties to others? Our issue is errors, not tactics.
Do you know what?
Did he say
Ren's a
he
big
doesn't
shout.
think, or the person doesn't think tactics is an error either?
I think
Is it
it's
just
all-
errors? Because there's a lot of problems in there.
I mean, some of that's definitely tic-tacs, right? Some of it is, without a shadow of a doubt. But a lot of it is coaching. Like, I mean, there's so, like, you're literally looking at a fucking monster pie to fix, and you can't just take a slice of this. Like, you're going to have to eat the whole fucking pie. And some of that is leadership, some of that is coaching. I'm in a fortunate enough position to manage to fucking bend the ears off some players at times. What the players say to me is things like I immediately disagreed as I was hearing it. Like, yeah, I'm not buying that. And they said, McKenna's a tactical genius. He's like an absolute boffin. He's a proper professor. And I went, no, he might. I'm all about fucking coaching, but like, I don't know if you can go fucking tactical genius. I think that's a bit fucking far, isn't it?
Genius. That's the far.
Yeah,
Anything.
because I'm not seeing that.
No.
I'm seeing mistakes. Like, for example, the City playing out 2 years ago to now. A tactical genius goes, maybe we can come up with a plan B for this because that didn't work. And I know they don't get anywhere near as much time on the pitch as people assume that they do, but there's got to be some fucking things that get fixed. The defending and the playing out. If you could just start there and show improvement on that by the Spurs game at weekend, this is like the longest week we've got of consistent coaching because international breaks, they all just fuck off. When it's 2 games a week, they do recovery as much as they're doing anything else. So you're actually going to get a couple of days where they could work on something. If we could see some encouragement, you might think, do you know what, he might turn it around. But then on the other hand, you go, and he's been here 2 fucking years though.
Yeah.
And the same mistakes. Like I've seen progression in multiple areas. And the reason he's still in a job right till today is because he did everything that was expected of him. But then some of the things like, again, it might feel a little bit like nitpicking, but you go, 2 years we've made the same bullshit stuff. And it's one of the reasons we're so fragile at the back is because we play out like a fucking set of 6-year-olds. It's abjectly not good enough. And that is on the coaching staff. The way we've conceded some goals at set pieces, that is on the coaching staff. The way we've defended, that's probably 50-50. It's like some of the players, you can't tell me that an £80 million former England captain, Manchester United captain, doesn't know he needs to get in front of the fucking ball when Mo Salah's coming at him in the 6-yard box. You can't tell me that he doesn't know that. So why is he not getting there?
No.
But it's on the coaching staff to recognise, do you know what? He's shot to shit at the moment. Get him out of there.
It's their responsibility, which is why I want to see a change in formation.
I'd
now.
love to see 3 at the back.
I say 3 at the back, but Varane's out as well, which means the other 2 coming into centre half.
Looks like he's back next week.
Who's coming into centre half then? Are you tucking Luke Shaw in? Because do you trust Bailly or Lindelof
Fucking
by
Mo Salah
themselves?
tucked him in tonight, I'll tell you that for
Literally.
free. Fucking hell.
It's all these
Kissed him goodnight on the
questions.
forehead and
Go
everything.
through a few more of these super chats. Sancho's United's most pressing player look stats. Yeah, okay. Well, he's not played today, and I don't think he changes it much today. Abanev's correct. He said, I meant playing Maguire when not informed, playing Green when it tactically is not working. This is costing Ole. I agree. I think you've got to be bolder with changing these players. I think you're right. I think he was bold dropping Ronaldo for Everton. I think that was him trying something.
It was also stupid.
I think that was him. No, but I think that was him trying it. I think
That's
that was him
trying to
going.
have big swing.
It was a double-edged decision.
It hasn't
wasn't it?
worked. Let's
Honestly.
try Cavani. But then, and if he'd have won that game 1-0, you go off and go, all right, great, it's worked. Something's different. He comes back in after international, all kissed and made up and fine. It didn't, and it's left a very sour taste. And I think that was the start of things. Gora said, hashtag should have got Poch. Yeah, let's leave that one.
I'm not sure about that.
Train home from Munich as well. Fuck me, how much history do you want to rewrite?
Fuck me. Spiky Mikey, we've only had 1 solid win this season versus Leeds. The rest have all been dog shit, wins in the last minute.
And we still conceded
Ole
twice.
has to go. Bring
Solid
in,
win.
Bring in Zizou.
What was a solid win?
Leeds.
Leeds.
We still conceded
Leeds.
twice as well.
Yeah, it's a good point. Well made.
The issue is Ole's favouritism. Our captain put stinkers in week after week, but he's never dropped.
I don't know his
How's he a
favouritism.
leader?
It's an £80 million centre half.
He was usually pretty good. Most of the time, he's pretty good. I think people thinking that you should drop him
Because here's
out
the
of
thing,
nowhere.
right? Bayes made a Weetabix. So he's as liable to fucking do himself in the warm-up as he is to get through 90 minutes. Honestly, you can probably put a line on that.
Yeah.
You've got Phil Jones, or have you, right? You've got Ted Mengi, who's literally a boy. That's your options, really.
Yeah.
And is Rowe still in the box? I don't
No, he's
fucking
gone.
know
He's
what
at
the
Boca
script is on
Juniors.
that. Yeah, fuck me.
Think of the worry as well. If Maguire's not in that team, I remember I think there was one game about 3-4 games ago. Lindelof and Varane were starting. And there was such a worry that there's no solid defender next to one
against
of them.
West Ham
Yeah.
were
The Brexit look on our defence.
Ole coming out and saying the coaching
I love
staff.
the Brexit look on Maguire's face.
Yeah. Ole coming out and saying the coaching staff is good is just being dishonest and lowering the standards of the club. Unacceptable. Look, what's he going to say? Oh,
is
no,
he going to say?
shit.
Is he going to say?
them.
No, my
No,
coaching
he's-
staff are
he's-
pants. They
he's
shouldn't be
gonna
here. I
the
did decide for him to be
complete
hired.
180 to what
He's not going to
Jose
say that,
was.
is he?
Jose would literally go, they're shit, and look how toxic and crazy it went with him. Ollie might be trying to be too nice, but I'd rather he was too nice than just horrible. Like, Neither is ideal.
Just
is
senile.
Like, yeah,
I think again, the start of this week, I think the Atalanta game, he come out and said afterwards, he went, look, he put all the, said how good the players were, put it all on them, and he didn't take any credit. And I don't think he's taken any credit all the way through all this. It's the complete opposite to Jose Mourinho. And whether you think he's too nice in press conferences, whether you think he's all this, look, I think he's said the right things 9 times out of 10. I think he's conducted himself as he should do as a United manager, unlike Jose Mourinho. Whether you think Jose did a better job or not, that's why he got sacked so early. That's why he left, because he was just... It was horrible. And Nikhil's put a great super chat in. Thank you very much, mate. Ole got punished for overestimating this team. We needed the 3-5-2 that would have pressed the midfield. We knew that. Wiley, McFred, fullbacks alone, knowing our forwards don't track back. For me, they've had a day of training in between, or 2 days of training. You can't change a system that you've never worked on.
Thursday, they would have done a recovery. Friday,
you'll have trained, maybe.
And you'd have done tactics on Saturday.
You can't change your system in a week. You can't change it in.
I mean, he's done it. He's done it in the past.
Yeah, he's tried it.
He's done it with City in the past.
Yeah, but with 5 days, with 7 days notice or 2 weeks off.
I think it was with a midweek game.
And your best centre half out.
But I think he's also had it planned, ready to go.
Yeah,
I think
that's different.
3 weeks down the line, we're working on the 3 at the back, because when it comes to City, we're doing that. I don't think that's been the case. Narish said, if Ole goes this week, guns ahead, Conte or Zidane. I don't think either's right. I think both have the benefits. I think Zidane probably fits better, but Conte is probably a better coach overall. But look, I think he's left the 2 clubs he's been in. The last 2 clubs he's been in an absolute shit show, and I don't think it'd be any different. I think he'd come in, maybe win a few things, and in 2-3 years' time, it could all be the same again. Calvin's asked the same kind of things. If Ole were to get sacked, realistically, who can come in? United will go to the caretaker route again, or get a proper first-team manager with new backroom staff. Look, I think if he has to go, you have to get a proper manager, and there's no point.
Don't take a chance again.
You can't be short term. Look, if you're going to be short term, you're not going to ever get real sustained success.
No.
That's why this Chelsea team's only ever won, despite being always one of the best squads in the league for the last 20 years. They've only won it back-to-back once, which was under Jose. No, it was no coincidence. It was the same manager that won them the back-to-back title. They didn't win a title, sack someone, and then win the title again the same season after. Conte came in, won a title because he had no Europe, because they bombed the year before, and then he bombed the season after and got fucking binned. Like, I think that's literally how they fucking roll.
People forget how he left. People forget that he sacked his top goal scorer from the season before via text, and then spat his dummy out because he didn't get Lukaku and got given Morata instead. And everything went wrong with that. I think people forget that and think that he's going to come in Man United and do the same.
That's why he'll never be our manager.
Oh, by the way, can I have a midfielder? Yeah, but he's called Fred. No.
Julio's put another super chat in. We want to play 4-3-3 long run, but if we go 3 at the back, does that negate the need for having number 6 as managers play their 6 to drop between the centre backs in possession with full backs going forward? I think 3 at the back probably works a bit better at the minute, but you need to work on it. You can't just say, right lads, we're going to have 3 of you here now, see what you do. You have to put some training sessions in. You don't do that at the top level. Ilias put one in saying, F United. Did you see the post on Insta saying thanks for the support forever Red to the fans that endure the torture? Like it's the fans that left fault. No, but I did see some videos and stuff of our fans out singing Liverpool fans, even though we were 5-0 down. Fair play to them.
Yeah, like 89th minute, wasn't it, in the Stretford end?
It's fair play to them lads for sticking it out.
The best
we were
that's
close.
the best part about
we were
today.
close to turning the stream off here, but we said, look, you've got to stay.
Chicken wings I got Cajun, dry rub, mint.
On a personal level, yeah.
No,
for you.
He had one.
Did you have one? Are you back in
really
it?
Good. Yeah.
2-1. Yeah, sorry. I'll shut
really
down.
Good. Should Carrick still be in the club if Ollie is fired? Look, it all depends who the next manager comes in. To be honest, Ollie will probably go, and then they'll have to look at it who goes forward.
Do we actually know what Michael Carrick does?
Coaches, apparently.
But what does he coach though?
Apparently, he's more of the ear in the shoulder. Ear in the shoulder.
Ear in the shoulder.
Fucking whispering in the ear, kind of arm around the shoulder kind of guy. McKenna's the one who leads training.
To me, it don't make sense. Like it's nice having him back in it, but like
someone just put any chance for Alex Ferguson can be interesting until May. Leave the lad alone, man.
Jesus Christ, he did it half a fucking century or
he's all right. Leave him be. He didn't look happy today.
Do you not remember the fact he had a fucking stroke? Imagine him being in the chair today. Pogba getting sent off at 5-0 against fucking Liverpool. You'll put the bastard in a grave. Let's not do that to him. He's like my granddad I never had.
Harry,
Leave Fergie alone.
Leave him alone.
Let him get rummed and whisked out of his fucking box.
Whatever he
He'll
wants
have
to
more
do.
red wine than the fucking whole of France.
Harry said, if as a fan base we stop focusing on what we don't have in common and focus on what we do have in common, it will help the players in the club. I don't think what happens on Twitter...
All right, John Lennon.
What happens on Twitter affects them in any way, shape or form.
Joe says rap, so fuck off.
We're going. We've got one more super chat. No, one more super chat. I can say CDM would solve some issues. McFred just ticky-tacker amongst themselves and then pass it to Shaw or Wan-Bissaka. No midfield ball or progression. Okay, great. I don't think that changes anything today. We've still been shit. We've been shit with Fred and McTominay. We were shit the other week without them.
I agree with you, don't get me wrong, but you could say that with Kessie from AC Milan, Ndidi from Leicester, Conte from Chelsea. You could literally say it for anybody, but it doesn't change anything. It's nice thinking, innit?
Midfield too, that's better than ours.
But we could still be shit, because at the minute, it's still not working. Well, that has been that, hasn't it? That's been a really great day, apart from the chicken wings. Where were they from? Should we give them a plug? Free ad?
Yeah.
Free ad.
Wicked Burgers in town.
There you go, Wicked Burgers in town. There is your free ad. Thank you very much, Steve. Thank you very much, Jordan. That has been Steve's Fancam about that fantastic performance. Subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one. Laters.